In this video, we are going to walk through how to use the Reflect and Review feature in Pear Deck. So we have a completed Pear Deck session here, and once you have closed that session or ended it, you will have this pop-up here where you can generate takeaways, and you'll have a link to share Reflect and Review with your students, either through the link or directly in Google Classroom. And this link is really important because this is how your students will access their Reflect and Review responses. It's really nice because it is one link, and all your students will need to do is sign in with Google to see their own individual responses. So you can copy this for later. You can also access it later in Reflect and Review, or you can post it to Google Classroom right away. So we're going to click on the Share to Google Classroom button. It will bring up a pop-up window where you can choose the class that it goes to, and then you can choose an action. So since this is going to be a Reflect and Review, I'm going to post it as an announcement instead of an assignment. And then I'm going to add a quick direction for students to click on the link and log in with Google if needed. And then they'll be able to see their responses and they'll see any feedback from me. So it's a great way to give them access to the slides and to any feedback from their teacher. Then I'm going to schedule this to post a little bit later to give myself time to give them that feedback and go through their student responses. So I'm going to go up here and schedule this and give myself some time to actually give them that feedback. I could also wait to post this to Google Classroom till I'm done giving them feedback, but I'm going to go ahead and schedule that in advance and then go in and open Reflect and Review. So I can click that link for open Reflect and Review and start work on this right now, or I can access Reflect and Review later in sessions in the Pear Deck website. So I'm in Reflect and Review, and there's that copy student link. So if I wanted to post that later for my students, I can copy that and create a post later. Now I can go through individual students by selecting them in the drop-down menu, and it shows me that individual students' entire responses for the slides. So instead of the teacher dashboard, where I see all student responses for each slide at once, I can go through and see just one student's responses and give them a grade for their responses to the slide. So I can see on the left is the original slide, student response is on the right, and then I have a leave feedback button in the upper right. So I can type in feedback, a response for that student, and then click send feedback, and it will post to the student view. They'll get a notification when they open the Reflect and Review. They'll have a little pop-up, and it will show them that they have feedback from their teacher. So again, I can scroll through, see the student response on the right, the original slide on the left. I can click leave feedback and leave feedback for that student. So I can go through, see all of their responses, and then I would be able to give them a grade for their entire work. In the upper right, there's a drop down, so I can go student by student and grade the entire class all at once and leave feedback for all the students. I can open the teacher dashboard if I would prefer to go through that view at any time. So there's a direct link to the teacher dashboard for this session. I can also go back and there's a direct link to my sessions here. And if I'm in my sessions at any time, I can access Reflect and Review for a closed session using those three dots next to the session title on the right. So this is where I am accessing individual student responses using Reflect and Review, and then I would post that to my students in Google Classroom. And this is what it looks like when a student opens up that link from Google Classroom. They get a pop-up letting them know that they can save that link for later if they would like. It's time to review their work from their teacher. They click review work, and there's that pop-up in the lower right corner letting them know that they have feedback from their teacher. If they click on it, they'll see all of the slides that have feedback. They can go to that slide to see it full screen on their window. And then they have that little red indication notification in the lower right corner until they click mark as read. So that leave feedback icon or the feedback icon in the lower right will have a little red notification until they mark it as read. Then they can go through all of their slides, see their responses at any time from that link in Reflect and Review. So that is how you can leave feedback and go through individual student responses and share it out with your students using the link or Google Classroom.